Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you guys are having another fantastic day. It's Rick coming back at you. And today what I want to talk about is why you're getting anxiety and how to overcome that anxiety without having to use any sort of medications or speak to any doctor. So let's go ahead and get into it. So a lot of us get anxiety, me included. And a lot of times what causes this anxiety is what's going on around us in our environment. So it may be your career, it may be your family, it may be a relationship, it may be your business, it may be something that you're concerned about that may happen in the future. And our society is running rampant with people who are infected by it, and it really does eat away at you mentally, emotionally, but it jeopardizes your health as well. And a lot of times, and I know that this has happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened for you as well, but you'll lose sleep over things. You'll be worried so much about something that the thought of sleep just gets to you, and you can't even think about sleeping because you want to know the answer or you want a solution for the problems going on around you. And so what's really causing this anxiety is the worry about the future. And again, it doesn't matter if we're talking about relationships or you can choose the topic. Really what anxiety comes down to, and the reason why you get it, is you're worried about the future, something that may happen in the future. What if I lose my car? What if I lose my job? What if this person breaks up with me? What if I go bankrupt? What if I embarrass myself in front of all of my family and friends? What if? And so we start to forecast what the future could look like for us in a negative manner. And when we start to think about that, what starts to happen is we start to flood our body with these chemicals that essentially put us in a fight or flight type mode where we're so scared of what might happen in the future that we're not thinking clearly anymore. We're just simply thinking strictly about our survival, and we're not rationalizing what's going on around us. And so you're getting these flood of emotions, you're not thinking clearly, you're stressed out, your health is being impacted by this, and it just feels like you can't get out of it. And how you deal with anxiety without having to see any sort of doctors or take any prescription medication is a lot simpler than you think, but understand that it's going to take discipline and it will be hard to create the habit. But once you create the habit, you will have a hard time feeling anxious or having any sort of anxiety. So think about this. Basically what anxiety is you're worried about something that could happen to you in the future. Now, psychology says that 4% of the things you actually worry about that may happen in the future actually come true. That means that 96% of the things that you're focused on that may happen to you when you're feeling anxious never come to pass anyways. So you have this fear that's built up inside of you of what if, but the likelihood of those what ifs actually happening is actually really, really slim. So how you want to approach anxiety is you want to work with it. And here's what I mean working with it. When you start to feel anxious about what may happen in the future, you want to allow those feelings to be there. So allow them to be there. And then tell yourself, okay, so if this does happen, what's the worst possible outcome that can come out of it? And your brain is going to start firing off all sorts of radical, wacky ideas. And you start to treat this like a movie where it's like, what's the worst possible thing that could happen here? If I go bankrupt, then what? Then I lose my house and I lose my car and I lose all this stuff, which seems like the end of the world. But is it the end of the world? No, it's not the end of the world. It's just a lesson at the end of the day. That's all it is. You may lose something physical, but you're going to gain something a lot more important, which is going to be knowledge and emotional intelligence. Because what you're really doing is when you're allowing your anxiety to be there and you're flooding it, you're flooding your mind with this thought of what if, you're letting all these chemicals run through you, and then you go, okay, so what's the worst that could happen? Now I'm sleeping in a tent for a little bit, or maybe I'm living out of my car for a little bit, or maybe I have to get another job, or maybe I don't see my friends for 6 months. Is that really so bad? Because at the end of the day, you still have your life. You're still on the right side of planet Earth. You still have a healthy body, right? You still have people that love you. And most importantly, you've learned a lesson from this. And that lesson is things are never as bad as you think they will be. Because ultimately, that's what anxiety is. Anxiety is you painting a picture of the worst possible case scenario. And then once you walk through that fire, on the other end of that fire, you say, this really wasn't that bad. And then when you see it wasn't that bad, now you no longer fear the future and you no longer fear the what ifs. You start to embrace this anxiety and you start to play with it and you start to treat it like a movie where it's just like, okay, so let's go ahead and walk down this path for a little bit. So I might lose this, I might lose that, I might lose this, but at the end of the day, I still have the love from my family, I still have money in my bank account, I still have my dog, I still have, and you start to think about all these things that you're thankful for, and the things that you're thankful for start to overpower these things that you're feeling anxious about, because you realize the things that you're worried about really aren't that big of a deal to begin with. And once you overcome that, and again, it's going to take discipline, that anxiety is going to fall away faster and faster and faster. And soon you won't even worry about the future because you'll know that everything is working out for you all the time. So I hope that this video helped you. Anxiety is something that we all deal with, and it is a serious issue going on in today's society. And you don't want to just foo-foo it away. You don't want to just say it's not there and ignore it. You want to work with it. Because ultimately what's going to start to happen when you start to work with it is you're going to become somebody who's a master over their emotions. And when you're a master of your emotions, you're no longer controlled by your anxiety, and it's easy for you to overcome. So I hope this video helped you. If it did help you, give it a big thumbs up. Other than that, if you have not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.